It's been a long, hard couple of weeks down here at the Old Rope Salvage workshop after taking apart most of the chassis and the triumph of the engine lift at the end of our last video.
1, 2, 3.
We were looking forward to getting the frame into paint and beginning the process of cleaning, repairing, painting and rebuilding the Bedford from the ground up. Maybe we were lulled by the late summer heatwave. But this week the weather turns a little more autumnal, shall we say, and despite quickly getting this thing down to the bare frame, we soon come to realise that DIY sandblasting a massive heavy duty chassis with our modest little blaster is going to take a little more time and graft than we had reckoned on. Pull up a pew, folks, this is going to be a tough few weeks.
Oh, I love it so much.
The week began, as it often does, with some hammering, as Tim continued the mission to finish dismantling the chassis.
Some bolts take a little bit more effort to get off than others, and some, well, track rod ends, but we'll just keep going. Come on. As typical, camera's not rolling as this works, so I ended up with the little trolley jack, putting a little bit of pressure, pushing up. Got to be careful not to damage the threaded part of one of these joints, and just run a bit of heat around this bit, and pop straight out. Yeah, and not on camera. Sorry.
Dismantling the steering arm proved to be a trickier job than anticipated. Sometimes it's these fiddly smaller things which seem to take up more time than removing, say, a massive engine, and require more patience than muscle. Applying heat can help to push out stubborn pins, so I'm told, but maybe just be careful not to set fire to the rubber seals whilst you're at it.
Change plan. Right, I think I might have to turn the camera off again so that so I can get this off, because obviously it's the camera that's stopping it. Sorry. As soon as I turned off the camera, took one hit on that, popped straight off. It's the camera that's stopping stuff coming off. This is a problem, because you need to see what's going on, but I need to take this apart. What are we gonna do?
Switching to time-lapse always seems to help, which is perhaps why you'll be seeing a few of those this week. Just as well in this instance, as it took quite some time for Tim to remove the wheels and separate the axle from the frame. We always knew that dealing with the chassis by ourselves would be a challenge due to the considerable weights involved, but it's actually been going all right so far, better than expected. You could even say that we were feeling quite pleased with ourselves at this point, which, let's be honest here, is always a bit dangerous.
Well, I feel like since I started at the beginning of that time lapse, it's been weeks. The leaf spring, the bolts holding the shackles that go around the leaf springs were a little bit, they started coming up alright, but then they got a little bit harder to get off, but that's like many of the dirty old bolts on this thing. But it's worked out alright actually. I took some of the weight off with the winch just to sort of like see what effect that would have. Blocked up the axle, took the wheels off, trying to be careful that the axle doesn't just fall on the floor when it separates. And as I lowered it down, it was separating from this frame here, and it felt like this was holding it up no problem. So I just carried on letting it down, and it separated. Now the axle is a bit safer, lower down. Don't know how I'm going to move that, weighs a lot. Whereas the frame itself ain't quite as bad as I thought maybe. I mean, I can actually get over. I mean, I am picking it up and, you know, but yeah, it should be manageable hopefully. So yeah, just got to take the leaps off the frame, move the axle out of the way. Heck, I might start doing the back. Could be free today maybe. We'll see how it goes. My arms are a bit broken after all this dismantling, and I'm trying to take it a bit easy. But yeah, it's alright. It appears to be raining. Oh. That was hard work. So I don't know where I left you last, but managed to get this sort of down on the floor, which isn't easy when you've only got like one way of lifting it up and a trolley jack. And then I managed to single-handedly flip it over upside down on its back, which I thought might give me a much better chance of cleaning up the underside of it. But that was hard work. But that's good, because now we can get to the bottom of it, and makes it a lot easier to scrape all the paint off. I'm still not sure if I'll do any grinding down there because it creates so much dirt, but it's a good start to get rid of all the paint and have a look at it. But that was hard work. I am gonna have a tea break.
So with the chassis completely stripped down, the frame was now free for us to begin the process of cleaning it up, ready to be painted. This had long been a logistical concern in the back of our minds, as we knew we would need to be able to manoeuvre it in and out of the tent. Our plan was to sandblast, prime and paint one half at a time, which meant being able to spin the frame around. As it happened, this proved to be easier than we had feared. It's amazing what can be achieved with a jack, a trolley frame and some strategically placed tyres.
It was a busy week last week, very, very hard work, lots of lifting around and getting all the axles off.
Yeah, I left him to it. He can manage.
And this week now we're left with the frame, half in our tent, and we're going to drop the sides down, a couple of little things to cut off the back of it, and we're going to start cleaning this up and hopefully get it into paint.
That's why I'm here, because it's sandblasting to be done.
Yeah, although the weather has turned a little bit rubbish, it's quite damp out there, a lot of humidity, so we'll see how it goes with that, won't we?
So yeah, we've got everything completely in pieces now. As you can see, the workshop looks completely empty. So as I was saying to Tim when I came in this morning and saw it all, This is maybe the lowest point we will now reach. From here on in, everything's going to get bolted back onto it, new, shiny, finished, and looking fantastic. So it's a little mental trick we're playing on ourselves. It's just to tell ourselves from here on in, we're rebuilding, starting with the main frame, which Tim's already kind of done a lot of cleaning up on. Going to be sandblasting, priming and painting it, hopefully all this week, possibly early into next week as well. We'll see how we go.
We'll see how the weather goes and how much it takes to clean it up. It's currently sitting, the frame is backwards, so this is the back, and it's upside down. We're going to clean up this side, flip it over, clean up the other side, paint it, and then turn it around. And yeah, the idea is to get it set up back where it was sitting in the workshop, all blocked up, painted, and then the job is just to rebolt all the stuff to it as it gets cleaned up.
Can I just say, really weirdly, I've just discovered that Darth Vader lives underneath the chassis. He's looking at me.
Anyway, nothing's gonna happen if we just sit here, so
drinking our tea.
I'll get my overalls on, I guess.
Busy week, exciting times. Stay tuned to find out how we get on.
Are we gonna make it all painted by the end of the week? Let's see. I'm thinking not.
No.
I've gone over first off with the one of these in the angle grinder. My personal preference, I prefer these ones and don't get cheap ones. These are from Toolstation, and the cheap ones just fall apart and bits of wire come out. You must wear safety goggles with these. I'm going over all the rusty bits and skimming over all of them, and it takes out quite a lot of that. Then I'm using one of these poly discs. These things, you don't have to press too hard, and you have to be careful not to catch them on edges because it rips pieces out. But that's going around here and it's taking it up. You can see where I've got to there. So it's cleaning it up loads. And then we're going to get we'll go over it all with the sandblaster because that gives you a really good key for the primer. But also the sandblaster can get in all the gaps, all these places here. I can't get into places down there and in there and like bits over there, places where you just can't get one of these in. And you could get in there with a drill and smaller wire wheels, but you'd be here forever. So yeah, once I've cleaned this up with the this disc as much as we can, yeah, I think we'll be good.
We had so much hope, so much optimism, so much innocent naivety, and all that despite our now extensive experience of sandblasting. It's like somehow every time we forget just how much of a horrible job sandblasting actually is, especially when nothing you're sandblasting is just so much deeply pitted, heavy metal. Dark times, folks. Dark times.
We've done quite a lot of sandblasting in the last year or two with the cab inside and out and all the panels. Obviously this stage of the sandblasting, doing the chassis and everything, we don't have to do it quite as meticulously as we did the cab and all the panels, so that's good, but it's filthy work, really unpleasant, and there's a lot of it still. I actually really enjoyed the sandblasting in the start because you get like such great results from it. So I would still definitely recommend it, and if you can do it yourself, why not? It's so much of a cheaper option. I think with hindsight, if I had to do it again, or I was going to give anyone advice if they were going to do this themselves, is to be really, really meticulous with your protective gear. I mean, we've got full on masks with the filters, goggles. I wear like all my waterproof gear with my hood up and everything. But even with that, the sand like really does blast under your mask and even through onto my glasses. My glasses have all got scratched up. I'm going to need new ones. So the one thing that I would do just a little bit differently is I would probably spend the extra money getting a full-on face mask, so you are absolutely 100% hermetically sealed in there and it can't get to you, because it is not nice.
God. Oh, I love it so much.
A couple of weeks ago we were at a car show, the Mount Edgecombe car show. There's probably a little short on our channel somewhere if you go and have a look for that, of our day out there. And we met one of our viewers there, Vaughan. Hi Vaughan, if you're watching. And we were chatting to him about the project here and what we're going to be doing next. And we said, oh yeah, we're going to be doing the chassis, unbolting everything. And then we're going to sandblast the frame. And he looked at us and he said, with your little sandblaster? And we're like, oh yeah, it'll be fine. Well, Vaughan. Today your words have sort of come back to haunt me slightly, and I just wanted to just film and just have a little chat for a couple of minutes, just to say that this is kind of one of those days where you suddenly find yourself at a bit of a low point and you've started something and you're like, geez, this is bad. It's like literally you're sandblasting it and it feels like you're doing an inch a minute. It's really, really tough. There's a lot of it and it's going to take us longer than we really planned for. Now, if it was a couple of months ago, we had the whole summer ahead of us, I think we'd be like, yeah, you know, it'll be okay, it just takes as long as it takes, we just pace ourselves. But because it's almost the beginning of September and we're worrying so much about the weather changing, winter coming, electricity prices going up, it's like the pressure feels like it's really on today and we're just thinking, what have we done? So I just wanted to film this and say that because I'm kind of hoping that a couple of weeks from now we'll look back on this, we'll watch this video and we'll go, oh, that was a bad day, but look at us now. So are we going to pull this off? Well, we're in it now, we have to carry on. And so it's really a mental battle just to kind of keep going, but we have to keep going.
What is this now? Day 4 of sandblasting a chassis. Well, okay, yeah, 4th day of sandblasting a chassis, and we're not even halfway. We've done 2/3 of the back of it, most of it. We've got to flip it over to do the last bits of it. So yeah, we got another bit more work. But Lisa is currently in the tent doing her morning stint, her first shift, and here she is, the happy Lisa.
Waiting for a spot on an angled line, driving to the outside, wasting my time. Took my place high on a rise. Look at them ants push away their prize. But I'll be free as a bird in a Walmart parking lot. I'm proud to be just who I am. Salute the flag just like Uncle Sam. My Yankee do good without a dime. Work for nothing in their overtime. But I'll be free as a bird in a Walmart parking lot. Payroll deductions, 401k, matching contributions that they never gonna pay.
Yeah. Right, so we had this whole back side of it sandblasted, and it's been really hard work, but it's actually looking pretty good. It's a bit of a race against time though, because it's actually starting to like go a bit bloomy and brown because it's bare metal out in it. Anyhow, we flipped it over. I think we just got like the other side of it. The top side was better than the bottom side, but there is a certain amount of disappointment.
As we turned it over there on the time lapse, there was a
Yeah, I think the other side was definitely a lot worse, and we've cleaned it up and it actually looks really good. But then you get used to that, seeing that really good, and remembering the other side's not as bad.
All the
you
time.
flip it over and the other side needs a lot of work on it, but it isn't as bad as the underside, but there's still a lot of work.
So the job we thought we could get done this week looks like it's a job that we'll be lucky to get done in the next month. So it's Saturday now, so this is kind of the last day of our videoing for this week, so this will probably be our last chat to camera to you lot. And I guess next time we actually chat to you, well, it'll be another couple of weeks, you never know, we might have it all done. Maybe you want to take little bets in the comments on that. That's the only thing.
It's a big job with a little sandblaster. It's brilliant. It gets rust out of places where you couldn't get it out of. If you were just thinking about going over this with some discs, cleaning off the worst of the rust and getting rid of paint, sandblaster is brilliant to get into those corners and those places where you can't get to. But if you want to do a really good job and get it right down to bare metal and make it last for years, as we would like to do, get someone else to do it. But I don't know, how much would it have cost us to have this done? It was probably quite a bit. But yeah, anyway, we shall carry on, get some more sand, dry it out, and we shall have this all finished. Hopefully by the time I've got this bit done, the underside isn't rusty, but it'll be painted. And once we've done this bit, that's like 2/3 of it. We've only got the nice bit at the front left to do. So yeah, we better just crack on and get on with it. The good thing is, in a year's time, the pain of doing this will have disappeared, just like it has for the cab. Let's get cleaning it up. Right.
Traffic!
I got a plan.
Yeah, sorry about that. We were too broken to be bothered refilming, but thanks for watching. We will for sure be back in a couple of weeks, hopefully with big smiles and a freshly painted chassis frame. What are the odds? Can we do it? Join us next time to find out.
I'll be free as a bird, no Walmart parking lot.